Doug West here from Mesa Boogie, and I'm here with Kris Dilbeck from Artist Relations and Customer Service, and we're going to run through the California Tweed and Fillmore today. They basically make up our traditional side of our Boogie family tree here, and we're just going to hear some sounds, maybe go through some settings, and just explore them in general. So this all started going into our 50th year here at Mesa Boogie, and we wanted to go back and basically pay a little tribute to the very original Mark I's that Randy made that were based on the Tweed architecture. So we started off with the California Tweed. Of course, we didn't have a name for it then, but we started off working on some Tweed stuff, and actually the Fillmore was born out of this amp, but that's a separate story, so we'll stick with this one. The California Tweed ended up coming out really great as far as the preamp, because it kind of lets you play clean like a blackface, but it kind of clips like a Tweed too. So it's a really nice combination of feel and sound. And of course, as I mentioned, it does use 6v6s, and there is our patented multi-watt power section switch, a 5-position rotary that lets you toggle through all the different tube wirings and power levels. So let me cover that real quick. Basically, you have 2 watts to 40 watts. We've used a combination of pentode, which is great for headroom and punch, and triode wiring, which is good for, sweetness and warmth. So basically covering it from top to bottom, you've got 2 watts. That's a combination that runs in Class A and single-ended. Then you've got 10 watts triode, you've got 20 watts pentode, you've got 30 watts that's a combination of the two, and 40 watts that's pentode AB. So you've got the entire range between the most clippable, lowest power, and the highest power, highest headroom. All 6v6s. Kris, I know you chose this amp out of our entire line for its kind of simplicity, its sound, its feel, its flexibility in the power range and stuff. So let's just goof around with maybe some clean and I'll kind of cover the middle of the spectrum on the gain control and go from kind of a sweet clean to a little more full, possibly driven clean. So bear with me on the volumes. I'll try to get it right on the master. And then after that, we'll kind of look at the power levels. So yeah, play away, man, anything you want. Thank you. Beautiful job. Yeah, so you can see I was adjusting the master as I was bringing the power down and up, and you know, the amp gets pretty furry and pretty gainy, especially for, you know, an amp that's basically traditional gain levels. But we tried to make it so that it would really cream out and kind of just get furry in a nice way and silky. You know, not lose the dynamics and get over compressed, but definitely start singing a little bit. You know, so. Let's maybe look at the pedal applications for this amp, because I know that's what you use in your rig, Kris.
Yeah, correct.
So we're going to take a quick break and wire in his pedal board here and check out that side of the amp. All right. So being a single channel amp and basically traditional gain structure, the California Tweed really was designed to take pedals well. So we worked really hard on the input stage, making sure it didn't get too bright or too spiky, too pokey, whatever the word is, when you hit it with gain pedals. So why don't you give us a little taste of that, Kris?
So here's the amp clean.
Nice. Yeah, it sounds really neutral. Yeah. You know, it seems like it doesn't change the tone that much.
Yeah, so a lot of times with gain pedals, you know, depending on the gain pedal, you put it in front of an amplifier, and some gain pedals will, you know, sound great through the amp, and some will not. I've tried many different gain pedals, many different pedals of all kinds through this amplifier, and it's always consistently sounds great.
That's great. Yeah, that's what we were shooting for. Really neutral and have it track across the power ranges and stay real even and smooth and not get spiky or too bright. So yeah, cool. So before we move on, let's hear this with some humbuckers and see what it does for that. Maybe give us a little just single note, maybe so, just for a second with. So yeah, handles humbuckers real nice too. So thanks, Kris, for running us through the California Tweed.
Sure.
As you can see, it's a wonderful amplifier, a great neutral platform for pedals and just traditional gain sounds. Again, no lead mode. In place of the lead mode, you have the patented multi-watt switch that gives you the huge range of power possibilities from 2 watts to 40 watts. It's 4 6V6s, so that's really cool. And again, they run in all different kind of wiring configurations. It's loaded with a Jensen Alnico 100-watt Blackbird speaker. You can also order it with lower wattage Alnico speakers, and that's really nice for a kind of brighter, a little more open sound. And that's pretty much it. It's our traditional gain offering. So real simple platform. Let's move over to the Fillmore now and see how it differs from this amp, even though it has a lot of the same architecture in it. Can hear the biggest difference between the California Tweed and the Fillmore is the addition of a gain channel or gain modes. the amplifier is basically 2 channels, and it has 3 modes in each channel, but the channels are identical, so you can dedicate them to anything you want. So let's jump over to Kris playing, and I'll run you through the channels and modes. So we'll start with the clean mode in the first channel, and let's just play a little bit of clean sounds, Kris. Beautiful, man. Yeah. So, you know, the clean mode can be clipped like the California Tweed. It's a little different because it has 6L6 power tubes, and you're not able to switch down the power in quite the same way, although we do have a power switch, and we will get to that. But let's just clip the clean channel real quick. So as you hear, it's a little fuller, a little furrier, bigger. 6L6 power tubes go down a little lower, but basically similar architecture in the clean sound. And like I said, the Fillmore started out as a Cali Tweed, but we just took it off in a bunch of other directions. So next we have the drive mode, which is kind of a vintage voiced gain channel. In other words, it still retains a lot of the top end of the clean channel, but it's not quite as compressed as, say, a really high gain lead channel. So let's go there for a second and see what we got at the lower settings. It's almost a crossover thing to the clean. So go ahead, Kris, play some chording stuff, maybe just to... Great for classic chording, kind of clipped chording stuff. So, and now that can be dialed way up for a lead sound too. Yeah, see, so you can, you know, really versatile mode there. Some people leave it in that mode all the time and just switch between, say, 2 versions of that mode, or, you know, that mode and the high mode. So anyway, it's a super versatile mode. Then you've got the high mode, which kicks in an extra stage of gain, and it's a little darker, fatter, and more compressed. So why don't you hit some single notes? And now, so that, you actually can use that with pedals too. It takes pedals really nice. So the Fillmore does have switchable power, and it's different on each model. So we have a Fillmore 50, which is this amp. Then we have the Fillmore 25 and the Fillmore 100. Okay, so from 50 down to 25. So you hear just a little bit different voice, a little darker, a little easier to clip. And basically, that's the power difference you got. The next thing would be, well, the reverb is very similar to the California Tweed, so it's real vintage voiced, kind of, we use a different tank, and it's just a little more vintage voice, a little more top end in the reverb and stuff. Let's go ahead and turn the reverb way up and just hear what that does. Yeah, very similar to the California Tweed. We should have showed you that in the California Tweed. Sorry about that, but it's basically the same in the Fillmore. and got a ton of verb, ton of depth, a lot of top end in it, real vintage voiced. So other than that, the channels are identical, like I said, so you can configure them any way you want, and foot switch between them. And that's about it. Effects loop on the back. California Tweed also has an effects loop, so you're covered both amps. So let's take a listen to the Fillmore with the Gibson scale guitar and see how it stacks up there. So you can hear it has that real percussive thing like the Tweed circuits often do. It's really great for that kind of in-between stuff where it's a little clippy but still traditional kind of voiced. Let's hit the high gain channel for some lead stuff and see what that Nice. So the beauty of having two identical channels is that you can set them to the same mode and foot switch between them for different sounds, and have them set differently. So let's try that with the clean channel and see what we get. Okay, let's try that same thing with the drive mode now. We'll go back and set these to drive. Got this drive really low, got this one a little higher for maybe a lead sound. So as you can see, there's a lot of possibilities switching between the two channels set to the same mode. So the Fillmore can go anywhere from super clean to super dirty and anywhere in between. You can do that with any of the three modes, use each channel set to the same mode, set differently, or you can set them wildly differently for different sounds. So that's basically how it differs from the California Tweed. This amp is for the person who needs a lot of versatility, but also in the Tweed architecture format. So it's just kind of the extended version of the California Tweed. So thanks again, Kris, for helping us demo this amplifier today and your fine playing. Whether you choose the simplified traditional gain format of the California Tweed 6v6 440, or you need the foot switchable flexibility of the Fillmores, be it in the 25, 50, or 100 watt version, both these amplifiers will cover a lot of ground for you in the traditional sounds. We'd like to thank you for stopping by today, and we'll see you in the next video. Take care.